This is general advice and my opinions only. CFDs are high risk, past performance isn't reliable. I may be long or short CFDs and stocks mentioned. Content may contain language that offends some viewers. LEVRD operates as corporate authorised representative 001318377 under AFSL 548573. You can find our financial services guide via the LEVRD website link in the show notes.
Righto, bag holders and stop loss owners, it's state of origin time, and why not before one of the 3 greatest days of the year? I'll just give a bit of a punting update on what the hell has been happening behind closed doors. I'm still alive. And Canetoad is still the best bloody thing in the world as well. The only thing better than state of origin is possibly Canetoad. It's even. I will repeat myself. If you are a mining company looking for projects and you are not firing up the toad, you are disadvantaged to the rest of the world. So you can either bloody get on the toad or be left behind. We'll fire up the toad right here. For those who haven't seen it, the link is in the show notes. You're mad if you don't fire up the toad. You just go to the homepage here and you look at how good does this look. Today's drilling announcements, what the share prices have done for each announcement, and you can see how they've performed on the back of it. One that stands out today, Caprice, down 13.7%. If you are the inquisitive type, like any punter should be, you go in to see, it brings up the announcement, it shows you where the holes are, you can create a 3D box around the edge of it, and you can see what this is all doing in bloody 3D, because that's just what the toad does. Have a look at this. Look, I'll be honest, I'm not a geologist. I don't know what this bloody stuff means. But if you are a geologist, you know, everyone knows that 7.1 grams per tonne is the grade. And you get a look at the ore body, you get a look at everything, you've just got to fire up the toad. It's as simple as that. Get the toad, go to the link in the show notes, and if you're a mining company, you're just mad not to bloody use it. Oh, God, hopefully a good ad for the toad means good success for State of Origin tonight. Righto, let's go through what's been going on and what are my bloody thoughts of frickin', tell you what, how do you play this market at the moment? It's just carnage. Oh my God. I'll just tell you where I'm at. I'll go through what I've got and what I've done and what my thoughts are. Down from 170, back at 153. Fuck me dead. So I'll just get the number out of the road. It's not 170 anymore. Because I tell you what, last week I had all bloody long, short Northern Stars going, long boss energy, God, all other sorts of bloody shit. There was shit everywhere. And I'll see, surely things are there's a bit of a bloody off-ramp out of this war. There's going to be maybe a recovery in gold, but tell you what, gold just, you can't pick it at the moment. It went up to 45.70 at the start of the week. It's now back at bloody sub 4,500 at the moment, 44.95 last time I looked. And like, you look at big news out of Northern Star, the MD's bloody retiring. Stewie Tonkin's finishing up after the end of this quarter, pretty much once the mill starts going. And you'd think, right, with all that going on, possible risk of not hitting guidance, you'd think, okay, Evolution should outperform Northern Star. And it just doesn't. It doesn't. It was for a bit. Then once I go a long short on it, it fucking doesn't. So I just can't pick it. I just cannot pick gold, and I'm just not in it at the moment. Torque Metals, lucky I got out of that. Torque's like cratered from 40 odd cents to 34, 35, even with the new management team, with those results they put out. So that one's gone to shit. Like New Murchison, that's sitting in the low fours. That's going to be printing cash. But I feel the gold is just that bloody saturated at the moment, and who knows what's going to happen with it. If it goes back to $5,000 an ounce, I'm sure everything will rip, but I do not know if it's gonna. So here's what I've got at the moment. Right, breakthrough. It's all just hanging on the breakthrough. Breakthrough's sitting at 23 cents. So still haven't touched that one. So it's still up. Average buy was 21 cents. So pretty much if bloody BTM, Breakthrough Minerals, hits absolute dusters in this first drill campaign, which I think assays, surely they'd be on the way soon. If they hit dusters, fuck my life. Fuck my life. It's still only a 30 mil market cap with bloody 200,000 tonne of contained copper in North Queensland, but that'd be just my luck. So anyway, hanging on there, because trying to play this bloody volatility is, oh God, it's fucking annoying. The bloody Nasdaq's up at 30,000. That thing's just kept ripping. Like everything's just... These things are like tech and everything's ripping with this frigging war going on. So I don't know. I've just stopped trying to pick it, and I'll just admit I've fucked up. So, but I'm still alive. I'm still alive. It's all good. So BTM is the bloody holy grail. Interesting on the back of the company interview I did with Dave Newling from Austral. They look like they're getting pretty active in that North Queensland region. It's pretty, and between them, Harmony, Boomy. I don't think Evolution's going to get active up there. Who knows? But in that, I believe if money starts flying out, like what some of these junior copper things are valued at, like 30 to 60 mil market cap, that's what a gold shell company is. And with the money flying out of gold and gold being so saturated and gold losing love, if this copper thematic comes along and money starts flowing from gold juniors into copper juniors, things might be flying. So anyway, I'm holding on for the breakthrough. I'm holding on for the breakthrough. Nige, you better hit some frickin' copper in those first holes. I'll tell you what, I'll be giving myself an uppercut. Can't say I'm giving anyone else one, but okay. I've entered into Line Rock, LRM. The talk about diversifying, rutile and rare earths in Cameroon, and the big change there was the new management that's come into that. So this Line Rock had a bloody I'll bring the chart up. Oh, here it is here. Look at the typical bloody all the Cottesloe was buying it straight up to 7 cents back in July last year, and boom, back down, went into sort of flatline territory. I was thinking of buying it at about bloody 2.2, 2.3. Anyway, it ripped on the back of the new management news, 2.8. I got in at 2.5. 2.5 at the moment. Not a big swing, only bloody bit less than 20 grand's worth. And you can see they've bought in the old Sierra Rutile team. Thuns de Bruin. I'll probably fuck that up. He's coming in on as CEO. Grant Scott as COO. He was former tech services manager at Sierra Rutile. Thuns de Bruin, he was the MD CEO of Sierra Rutile. Big Donkey Crabe, appointed non-executive chair from Boss Energy history. Then David Brophy also on as non-exec director, and Rob Boston and Phil Galler retire from the board. So, and I just look at incentives here. So, very simply, so it's in Cameroon. It's a big bloody rutile, which is titanium, then monazite as well. So it goes into that rare earth theme. And you've got Tronox have already taken a 5% interest in the company at a much higher share price as well. But you look at, they've loaded up the incoming board. So Big Donkey's got 150 million options, half exercisable at 0.03, half exercisable at 0.04. So that's incentive to get the share price up. And so's David Brophy as well, and the executive team as well have got options as well. So there you go, options at 3 and 4, and it's sitting at 2.5. Very simple. There is incentive to get this thing to double. And I'm looking for a double. So if Tronox are on there already, it says Tronox want this as a feedstock for their rare earths facility that they're proposing to build, which have got backing by the US government. Rare earths it's a theme at the moment. It is a theme. So it's I was surprised. It actually ripped to 2.8, then pulled back to 2.5. So that's where I picked it up. So in Line Rock, LRM. Now, next one off the rank of on the back of an interview, Atomic Eagle. After interview with Phil Hoskins, uranium. I'm going to go into uranium in a bit, but uranium's going pretty flat. This one is very similar to Bannerman. Go back and listen to the interview I did with Phil about Atomic Eagle if you want to bloody get in the weeds about that. But pretty much what I took from it, so I got in there at 38.5. It's sitting at about 37.5. So what I took for, I'm like, okay, where do you play uranium at the moment? Next gen's the safest play but that could be boring for entertainment. So why would I do that? I was in Boss. I would have stayed in Boss actually, but with uranium price low, if there's potentially a rise in spot price on because it hasn't really flowed through to the market what's happened with that bridge getting knocked over and cutting production at MacArthur River and the likes of, so Cameco possibly having to go back into the spot market even more to fulfill their contracts because they're over-contracted, which is on purpose, but they're even more over-contracted now to what they're going to produce. It's like, okay, if they go into the spot market, spot prices rise, who's got the most leverage? Well, Boss is one with the inventory. Lotus has been absolutely hammered, but I'm pretty sure they're in a pretty difficult pickle if they're not producing enough, they've got contracts to commit to and they'll even have to go into the market and buy as well. So that's why that stock is in the 60s now. And after talking to Phil on the interview, he said, look, we don't need to raise anytime soon. We're going to be drilling and we're going to be growing the resource. And you've had Grant Davey buying on market multiple times at these prices. So again, incentive for the share price to go up. So hence I've gone into Atomic Eagle, AEU. Still got me helium punt. That hasn't done anything. Need a bloody helium miracle. Prominence Energy. That's still sitting at it was actually trading at 0.002. So I bought it at 0.022. 0022. So, yeah, that's just ticking along. So we'll just leave that sitting there. So, thoughts. There is some themes. As I said, how to pick gold short term. Who knows? There is that many different narratives going around. It's like, will interest rates be higher for longer? Who knows? Surely with everything going on, the oil isn't fully flowing yet. Trump's saying oil prices are going to come flying down. Surely there'll be it's guaranteed to be some long-term inflationary effects post this war. It has to be. So will this Kevin Walsh keep rates higher for longer? Who knows? Then even if rates are higher for longer, there's, the stagflation theme where people are like, well, if it's stagflation, gold will go up. But then there's the thoughts that if rates stay higher, gold will go down. Who knows? I don't know. I don't think anyone knows. And I don't even know how to play it. And it feels like the money's just flying out of all these juniors that just aren't really getting much love at the moment. So if I was going to play long term, I'd enter in, but long term ain't good for entertainment. So we'll wait till some of these outcomes go. So that's I'm just not in gold at the moment. Hey, could change by tomorrow. Who knows? Depending if I get pissed at Origin tonight and do something silly. Uranium. Will uranium kick into September and post-war? So I've only got that one little uranium position. Uranium usually starts getting the flavour going into WNA in September. It's been pretty flat. You couple that with the Cameco downgrade, with the bridge getting bloody flooded. Surely out of this war due to an energy crisis, will uranium be a winner? It will be, but I don't think it's going to be in the short term. But still yet to see madness in uranium. So I've got my eye on it. Other one, Northern Star MD succession. And this will go into the underground world. So that is Stewie. They've had a horrific run of downgrades, Northern Star. The KCGM mill is going to be turned on, the new one, sometime this year. Who knows how it's going to go? Will they forecast 23 million tonne per annum from next year for FY27? Don't know yet. Will they even get the 1.5 million ounces in FY26? Don't know yet. Reports of mills, don't know if it was just scheduled maintenance. Some mill, I think there's five mills there. there's always probably going to be one down. I'm not sure how many were down, or if there was just one down, then they all went into scheduled maintenance. Not sure, but that mill is obviously old, and they're trying to get it through to when this new one gets turned on. So I think there's a bit of pressure on executing FY26 guidance, and the fact that the MD is leaving, whether that's linked or not, it's who knows. But Northern Star, I believe, will have pressure, but God, you short them, and then someone might take a bloody strategic stake in them at these low prices for an M&A angle. Who knows? Who knows? Yet to see M&A really fire up, I think, at these prices. I think it's stabilised. Look, wouldn't Northern Star, who knows, everyone else's share price is low. Why don't they have a look at bloody Ramelius? Take Rebecca Rowe into Carasoo Dam and get bloody Never into the portfolio. That could be a play. Who knows? Or some bloody international might look at Northern Star. I think on the back of Regis Fault doing their things, will there be some more action? I reckon so. While things are down. While things are down, there will be some action. Who knows where it'll be, but I'm not exposed to it at the moment. Contracting world. Mount Marion. Mount Marion's getting fired up. The underground. Good old MinRes back at $72. That is, where's all the articles about MinRes now? Hey, saying they're going to bloody fail. Everyone's gone quiet. Everyone's gone quiet. Chicken shit. $72. Everyone's crawling back up their ass. So good on you, MinRes. What a recovery. So Mount Marion underground. So you've had Burncut go into Gwalia. They've kicked McMahon's out of the Genesis ones. You've got Develop. Have lost Bellevue to Barminco going in there now. Then you've got Develop go up to Core Lithium up in the Northern Territory to replace their Bellevue contract. And that's fascinating because that all happened right at the same time as they got out of the Bellevue contract. But pretty sure I think it's like 6 months of like bucket wheel excavator and steel sets and that before proper underground mining starts. So interesting one. That's going to be an interesting one to watch, how that one progresses. But I guess the next big one coming up is Mount Marion. So McMahon obviously need a contract, I believe. I think they would have been going for Core. They would have wanted to stay at Genesis, but this has opened up Mount Marion. So who's available? Burncut have just taken over Gwalia and Ulysses. Can't see them looking at it. Develop were there already. They did the first bit of development of Mount Marion. But they're between Wahi, Woodlawn and now Core. Will they want another one? Who knows? Medallion's possibly going to be happening. Not sure who's going there, but Mount Marion looks like it's probably a bit bigger. And would Barminco would MinRes take Barminco for it? But when Barminco are ramping up Bellevue and trying to get all those people on board, because I assume some of the developed people are going to Core. So I think McMahon might get that one. So it's just going to be a big shift around of which contractors are doing bloody which thing. Who knows? But it's pretty hard to get. I'm hearing that, and this goes into the next point, underground worker shortage. I am hearing it is bloody people just there is that much work on and trying to find shift bosses and people just to fill the statutory positions underground is near impossible. It is just dried up. So to think that you're going to get a tier 1 contractor by name doesn't exist at the moment because every single contractor is struggling to get people to do their job. You can't be a tier 1 contractor if you ain't got bloody workers. So it is challenging out there, and that is going to put pressure on every underground operation through the country. So we're going to see. So here's my tip. McMahon get the Mount Marion contract. If Barminco get it, I think that'll be risky because they've got to man up Bellevue at the same time. But McMahon have people available and probably equipment available. They can slot straight in there. That's going to be interesting. So who else has had contractor change-outs? Pantoro, they got, is it Red Path down there now, I think? Change it out. Yeah, so like it's interesting time. So there we go. That's the update. Go the bloody Blues. I can't bloody wait. And Jesus Christ, I just need BTM to hit some copper. Need BTM to hit 5% copper. I can't say that for the AFSL, but it would be great for me if they get 5 metres at 5% copper. Can I say that? Maybe. Righto, thanks as always to the bloody Dosh sponsor that have got a good bloody plug at the start. I love your bloody work. The Toad, the Cane Toad. Link is in the show notes to fire up the Toad. Hope you have a bloody good night and go the Blues. Cheers.